Mission, come forth and you shall be heard. Please silence your cell phones and refrain from making any noises in the meeting room. May God bless the United States, the state of Tennessee, and DeKalb County.
Yep. Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for who you are, for the blessings you share upon us, for your Son, Jesus Christ. And Father, as we gather tonight, we just thank you for allowing us to live in such a wonderful part of the country. We thank you for the rain that we so badly needed. We just ask you, Lord, just to bless this meeting tonight. May everything be done in accordance with your will. So guide us, Lord, in all of our decisions and help us to do the thing that you call us to do. For it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, clerk, can you call the roll?
Andy Pack.
Here.
Greg Matthews.
Here.
Myron Rhodey. Beth Paffert.
Here.
Larry Green.
Here.
Tony Luna. Tom Chandler.
Here.
Matthias Anderson.
Here.
Glenn Merriman.
Here.
Brandon Donnell.
Here.
Daniel Cripps.
Here.
Jeff Barnes.
Here.
Sabrina Farler.
Here.
Tony Caldwell.
Here.
12 present.
All right, we have a quorum. Our next item on the agenda is public comments. Just coming from to look back at our policy and procedures. In public comments, you will address the chair. You will also state your name, your address, and the district you reside in. All comments should be directed toward the chair, and the chair may address questions to individual commissioners, but in no event will a citizen be permitted to call names or question the integrity or motive of any individual or make personal or derogatory comments. It is the responsibility of the chair to maintain order at the meeting. So we won't have any yelling or clapping or any kind of distractive comments, no booing or animal noises or any of the other. So if that happens, I'll just ask law enforcement to detain you and remove you from the room. Now, any individual that would like to come and make a public comment may do so.
Steve Cantrell, District 5. I have two issues. The first issue concerns Commissioner Luna's decision to resign, which is on your agenda tonight. I've known Commissioner Luna for a number of years, first as a friend and later as one of my commissioners. I found the following to be consistently true in my many interactions with him. First, he's a man of integrity who is open to honest and respectful debate. While we've not always agreed on certain issues, we have listened to each other and respected the other's perspective. He strongly believes in smart growth for this county, as do I. That is where his focus has always been, both in county meetings and other forums. As for the recent outcry by some residents of the Four Seasons area, there is a disconnect somewhere. But let's be clear, everything he was exploring and wanted to pursue was in the open, as reflected by WJLE's reporting, which was why the residents showed up at last month's county meeting. Bottom line, what I do know is his district and this governing body have lost an excellent commissioner. My second issue involves the recent approval of the SRM permit by Mayor Adcock. I recognize without question that under the County Powers Act, that decision was his to make. However, his justification, as reported in the Smith Review, raises many questions. First point, Mayor Adcock has consistently sought the Commissioner's recommendations on different proposals, as evidenced as recently as last week's County Working Group. Therefore, I question why he would make this statement in his press release, quote unquote, I am puzzled at the County Commission's decision to make a recommendation for me to reject both applications' grandfather status. Is there a discrimination clause on when the mayor wants the commissioner's recommendations and when he does not? In this case, a recommendation on behalf of their constituents. Second point, Mayor Adcock stated he was concerned that this may have a detrimental impact prospectively as the legal advice we obtained from GSRM law firm has been ignored. Unfortunately, I believe Mayor Adcock is the one who truly ignored GSRM's legal advice. The mayor could have rejected or denied the SRM and Jones Brother applications with the following rationale. First, they had failed to apply for their permits in a timely manner, even though they were aware of the requirement. Second, the county would not accept the applications at this time, pending the state Supreme Court's decision concerning Grandin County. However, the mayor's decision to accept and approve SRM's permit reflects on himself and the county attorney what he accused the commissioners of, quote unquote, the lack of patience to identify the ruling of the Supreme Court case is undoubtedly blunderous. The mayor's approval of SRM's permit negates any future action by the county if the Supreme Court rules in favor of Grundy County. I have another comment, but my time is up.
Go ahead and state your name and your...
Michael Antoniak, Snows Hill, 2nd District. I want to start by thanking the commissioners who stood for us, the County Powers Act, state and federal law, when recommending the county mayor not grandfather the SRM quarry. Law and precedent support you. Are we disappointed by the mayor's decision? Of course. Are we surprised? Not at all. Our fight has always been getting the mayor and attorney to apply the law. Once we learned SRM had not applied for all required permits when the County Powers Act passed, we petitioned they should not be grandfathered in, that they were not a legal operation. State law holds permit applications are subject to existing law when submitted. It's ironic the mayor and attorney should chastise commissioners for your recommendation and actions. They had no trouble putting words in your mouth last December, claiming a consensus of a majority in a private meeting with no vote taken recommended the SRM and Jones Brother quarries be grandfathered. When advised the whole scenario violated the state's sunshine law, they quietly dropped that. When commissioners requested a cease and desist, Attorney Conger's January letter noted only SRM plans to operate a quarry. Months later, when commissioners again pressed for action, the mayor claimed that would be premature because they're not operating. Nevertheless, in your decision, you maintain SRM's quarry was in operation since August 2024. So which is your truth? When you refused action because they have plans to operate or not yet operating, or when you maintain they were operating all along? These are the facts. SRM submitted its completed application for the required MTDES permit December 2024, after the County Powers Act. The permit was granted June 25th of this year. Then, SRM announced opening of the quarry in a press release. On the Federal Mining Data Retrieval System, the ultimate authority, SRM's operations begin date is listed as July 9th, 2025. Don't take my word. Google or search the following. Can a Tennessee quarry be grandfathered without its NPDES permit? Weigh what you learn against Mayor Adcock and Attorney Conger's ruling. They've used their power to protect and promote the interests of an outside exploiter of county resources over the good of residents and property owners. That and an empty pit on Snows Hill should be their legacy. And if I have any time remaining, everybody search this and you'll get your result, and then you can compare it with what they said. Okay? Thank you.
My name is Davey Horton. I'm in District 5. Live at 114 Peel Chestnut Lane. Mayor, commissioners, and brothers and sisters of our county, before I begin, please know that I pledge my loyalty alone to Jesus Christ first. No political party, no church, no nation. Jesus and Jesus only. Let us reason together without the cloak of political parties, but as cohabitants of the land that all of us love. Are you pleased with your lawmakers? Are you satisfied with your senators and congressmen? Are you satisfied with your health insurance, your costs of medicine and procedures? Are we happy and are we content? And are we truly able to pursue happiness and prosperity? Is this what we were promised? My peers, I don't see very many of them in here, but there's some. This is not the nation that I hoped that it would be. Why is it that our electors live in luxury while there are those that can barely afford to live at all? Electors that enjoy access to insurance and medicine procedures that are of the highest quality when just one small mishap for a family of four will drive them into a pit of debt that makes the loss of life the cheapest option. I can go on and on about the imbalances and irregularities that are all over our country, and I know I'm out of place in what I am saying now, but we have got to stop weighing our neighbors and our leaders with unbalanced scales. Regardless of the political party or the person or the wealth that's in their pocket, corruption is corruption, and it must be dealt with, and it must be dealt with swiftly. There is a cloud that is hanging over our county and over our nation, and it is because of the corruption that the men and women of God allowed to go on. We cannot no more leave our prayers at the altar. We have to live out that sacrifice. In the state of Tennessee, the Constitution, number 1 of the Declaration of Rights, we have the power to remove any of our officials from their seat if they do not do or work in the way that we feel that they should be working. I am not speaking to our commissioners or to our mayor. I'm talking at a much higher level. But it starts with us gathering together, and it starts with us agreeing on something, and let us agree that we don't want corruption, that we do not want corruption, that we're supposed to be a nation of believers and people who stand for justice and stand for truth. And we can't do that whenever we defend our political party whenever they are doing wrong. We cannot keep doing that. Our nation is in trouble, and it is because we have unbalanced scales. Repent and turn to Jesus.
All right. Anybody else?
Lucas Antoniak, District 2. I brought props. I want to show this. This is what the county mayor has allowed to happen in our area. This is last week.
Hey, Lucas, talk into your mic where I can
I'm
hear
sorry.
you better. I don't hear good.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't either. This is Friday evening. This is what the dust at SRM from their quarry. This is over going towards Downtown, blowing that right that way. Sorry. And this is today. This is a photo of a blast right after SRM blasted. This is their dust. And this is all the fault of the county mayor. This dust was created by the quarry and is traveling along Highway 70 directly into Downtown in the Dry Creek area and falling on my neighbor's property. This dust carries cancer, causing silica into the lungs of every person traveling and living in the area, including school children traveling up Snows Hill in the morning, and does untold environmental damage. How did we end up here? We're here entirely because Mayor Matt Adcock went against the recommendations of this commission and decided that his powers as county mayor supersede state laws, and he granted SRM grandfather status against the County Powers Act. It's a clear fact that required permits were not granted to SRM until a year after they had purchased the property and months after this commission passed the County Powers Act. SRM did not even announce the quarry's opening in a press release on their website until July of this year, after the state and federal permits were issued. Since this fight began, the mayor and the county attorney have given confused and contradictory statements on the quarry. In April, the mayor told WJLE that the County Powers Act could not be enforced because the quarry was not in operation yet. In his recent decision, he stated his reasons for granting SRM grandfather status was because he felt they were in operation back in 2024, ignoring the fact that the state had shut down the quarry several times last year for illegal operation. Again, the state law is clear. The mayor does not have the power to ignore state or federal permit requirements when deciding grandfather status. In closing, take a look at these photos again. Look at what the county mayor has done to us. He's allowed poison into our beautiful countryside where there was none before. Everyone living or just passing through the Dalton area is directly harmed by his decision to ignore state law.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Commissioners, for allowing the public to speak freely, but even though sometimes I believe it falls on deaf ears. So I first like to
State your name and
speak
your
about,
address for the district you reside in.
my name's Annette Tubbs Evans, District 4, resident of Smith Road. But I do want to thank you for letting the public speak freely and voice their opinions, although sometimes it falls on deaf ears. In the recent last thing of dealing with Commissioner Luna and wanting to bring the marina to that community there, and said that he had spoke with the housing management and some of the citizens there in that community. I guess he probably felt, as some of the others has, that they wouldn't speak up either, but they did. And what he said was found to be not true. And so it's just like a bad marriage. When you find out that someone can't be trusted, then it's time to do something about it. And also, when he had the Channel 5 news segment, he said that, you know, we, whoever we is, didn't know anything about building jails or what to do or whatever, so we sought advice. And ended up saying that they went on what the man said and took his advice to build the jail on that property on 71 acres. I doubt that that man told him they needed 71 acres to build a jail. But it'll soon come to light, like the Bible says, what's done in the dark will come to light. So when you buy the 71 plus acres, and then as we go on in the future, you'll begin to see that what was originally planned, well, little by little, oh, we need to build this or we need to build that. And those are the same things that was intended from the beginning. And so whatever, if anybody has ill will for doing what they do on this commission, what is their personal, financial, or political gain for lying, if you will, or being deceitful to the citizens of this county of which you were elected? And anything that we put out here at the public comments, there's never no answers for anything that's mentioned. You can't one-on-one ask a question and get a direct answer. So we're just left to whatever the whims are of what you want to do, whether it's the will of the people or not. Thank you for your time.
I'm Rhonda Lucci, also known as, and y'all may see me around, XX. I'm a lifer of Cookeville Highway and an intro protester.
State your address for the district you reside in.
I said Cookeville Highway.
Good enough.
Is that District 4? Yes, sir. People are being taxed now more than ever. Tariffs, inflation looming. Don't impose another optional local sales tax until a no-wheel tax until you have completion of one of your precious projects, your school or your jail. It's becoming obvious that it all needs to go to referendum. You can use the school, the sheriff's office, and the highway department's budget, sell the land that has been purchased to settle the debt with the state. New school and corrections and jail should be in West DeKalb. residents of Snows Hill, Pea Ridge, Dell Ridge, Dry Creek, Lower Helton, Downtown, Liberty, Alexandria, I suggest that y'all be annexed. So take this to the state legislature and making aforementioned towns WCAB. This county has a lake, big deal. If you like that kind of thing, West DeKalb has more potential for growth and prosperity. And that's all I have to say.
Anybody else? All right, seeing none, we will move on. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you all for allowing us to speak here. V.E. Garner, District 2, Snows Hill Community. I speak here tonight with great heartbreak regarding Mayor Adcock's decision to grandfather status, to grant grandfather status to SRM. In spite of evidence that its quarry operations were illegal at the relevant date. The mayor's ruling undermines the rule of law, invites unfairness, and sets a dangerous precedent for any business operating without full compliance with legal requirements. Illegal operations cannot be rewarded. The mayor justifies grandfathering SRM by pointing to public complaints of dust and blasting in August of 2024, claiming that SRM was in operation before the October 28, 2024 cutoff under the County Powers Act and resolution. But being the subject of complaints does not establish lawful operation. Indeed, these complaints suggest that the operations at that time may have been manifestly violating county, state, and other regulatory requirements. Granting grandfather status on that basis rewards unlawful conduct. If a quarry is operating illegally, the fact that neighbors are upset about it does not convert into a legal status. Legal definitions demand compliance. The mayor invokes TCA 59-8-202, which defines operation as including all of the premises, facilities, and equipment, and the use thereof in the process of removing and exploring for minerals from a designated surface mine area. However, the interpretation of operation must include compliance with the laws in effect at that time. For one, possessing the needing permits is not an ancillary matter. Permits ensure that the removal of minerals, safety, environmental protections, and the community impacts are regulated. If SRM lacked required local, state, or federal permits, it was violating permit conditions. Then the definition of operation for the grandfather status should exclude those periods when operation was non-compliant. By allowing SRM to avoid compliance requirements that other operations, including Jones Brothers, which did not demonstrate operations prior to October 28, would have to meet, the mayor creates a two-tier standard. One set of operations who by luck or legal compliance are eligible for grandfathering. Another set, perhaps more numerous, who must go through the permitting process.
Your 3 minutes have expired.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for your time.
Go ahead, Paul.
District 4, Paul Miranda. So I hadn't really intended to speak tonight, but I was going to follow up with Ms. Evans. And I'm going to bring into play what I consider a great loss for this country, and that's the recent loss of Charlie Kirk. Because he was not only a man of great faith, a family man, and a patriot to this country, and love him, hate him, or somewhere in between. He was someone that always engaged or looked for dialogue with his people with opposing views. He wanted to ask them questions. He wanted them to ask him questions. And he used facts, reason, logic, and courtesy when he did that. Now, sometimes it got a little terse, but that's okay, because sometimes these things become heated and emotional and passionate. What I see in this forum is we're not allowed to engage in that. We talk at you, and you sit there. Some of you never look up. I watched it through this entire time. Some of you never speak to what's being said up here. I watched his last interview recently, and it talked about one of the more difficult things he had to accept and come to terms with in order to ferment his success. And that was getting negative feedback. He said he looked at it like most people do in two ways. One is just coming from people that are never going to be happy and discontent all the time, or it was dismissed. And he found out that was neither productive or constructive. And I think how the mayor started this meeting shows the other side of that. He wants no interaction, no engagement. There should be a time and place in these meetings for Q&A. We had one a long time ago, a few months back, regarding the jail. That should be encouraged. There's commissioners sitting on this board that if I didn't hear him just say, here, yes, no, I've heard no opinion. There's a commissioner on this board that's made controversial statements regarding residents of Smith Road. There's a commissioner not in here tonight who lied to this commission and lied to the citizens. And there's a commissioner on this board that told me directly he neither understood nor could explain the budget he voted yes to pass on. Yet there is no ability for us to ask those questions and to get some sort of response as to why. And it continues. And you wonder why you probably have one of the lowest, if not the lowest, approval rating of any commission or mayor this county's ever seen. And that's just not coming from someone I know. I haven't been here as long as many, but I'm talking to people that are lifers, 30, 40, 50 years here, and those are their opinions. And you should be taking those in and paying attention to those. So,
Paul, your 3 minutes have expired.
all right.
My name is Maxwell Elijah Knudsen. I'm evacuating District 2. We can no longer live at our farm. Our goats are up for sale. And I'm taking out bankruptcy for the company I bootstrapped. Mayor Adcock, have you ever bootstrapped anything in your life? Have you? A nod, yes, no? I took $500 in 2017. I bought a horse trailer. I bought some goats from Mr. Eddie over there at the Herb Cottage. And I started my company from scratch. Nearly every one of my goats that are up for sale were bottle fed. That's why they're so tame. And that's why they'll follow me anywhere. That's the magic sauce to making $1 million, not milking or meeting your sentient critters, your kindred. Every one of my goats has a name. And it's breaking my heart right now. And if I was not fighting this spiritual war that's going on as a 17th generational European American on Turtle Island, it seems like many of you have never seen somebody that's half bear and half cat before, even though we're in the Tennessee state song. And you're willing to blow up old Rocky Top, turning it into Chalky Top, and it's like you don't know what the word basin means. I don't know how many of you would be drilling holes in your basins and expecting they still hold water. So we can't drink polluted water. We need to drink living water. We need to build our foundations on the rock. And this history in this county is difficult, just like everywhere in the world. And you seem to miss that point in that scripture that says, "For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son." Because none of us make it back. You understand? And he loved the world. Not this group of people, not that group of people, not this religion, not that religion. The world. And if you want to know who's grandfathered, just reread Genesis, please. Please sit down and reread Genesis. And you will re-understand that the rocks, the mountains, and the plains that sang joy to the Lord when the Savior was born are living creations just like we are. And we have dominion, not domination.
Your 3 minutes have expired.
No, I know. I know they have, sir. And tomorrow I will appear for my 6th time.
Go.
My 6th time with no trial date yet. Sir, this place is running roughshod over the Constitution, and there's blood that's been spilled by all of our ancestors. All of our ancestors.
All right. Is there anybody else that would like to make any public comments? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was looking down. I'm sorry, Tom.
Yes. Good evening. My name's Tom Rowland, District 7. Like another gentleman, I really hadn't planned to say anything this evening. I guess what's been kind of said in some ways kind of sums it up. There is kind of a feeling in the peanut gallery here that doesn't matter. I would encourage you to remember your oath when you took office. We the people are the sovereign. You are not the ruling lording class. We elected you, and when we are asked for your vote or our vote for you, the same attitudes, looking down, tinkering with phones, likely to come back. Listen, I really hadn't intended to say anything. I didn't have any thoughts. But you need to listen to the people. I would encourage some town halls, get some dialogue rather than sitting up here and directing, telling. We just feel like we're cut out, and the people are not happy. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Tom. All right. Anybody else? All right. We're going to move on and get our business started here with our approval of our agenda. Any commissioner like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Colwell.
Second.
Seconded by Matthews. Any discussion?
I have a question about the sale of land property.
Yes, ma'am.
What, can you explain
elaborate
that?
on it?
Yes, elaborate, please.
I don't know if we talked about it in the workshop. Andy, yeah. So Andy had brought up the piece of property behind the Smithville City Police Department.
Right.
The county owns a little lot there, about maybe getting that appraised and selling it, and maybe even that the Smithville City was interested in buying it. And that was requested to put on the agenda. That's the agenda in the workshop. You were there, right?
I remember talking about it. I didn't remember us being sure about selling anything. I do remember a comment that you would like approval from the county to get an appraisal. So.
Yes. Yes.
I was just confused when I saw sale because I did not
Right.
I did not think we were in a place to make a decision about selling.
Yes.
We did make a decision to put it on the agenda. for
Yes.
tonight.
Yes.
But I also think the subject was bigger than just a piece of property over here in the city. There are some other pieces of property that the county owns,
Yeah.
and I think we ought to have a discussion about that as part of this.
Yeah, I think the Revenue Committee was going to look over those pieces of property. Isn't that right, Larry?
Yes.
And just kind of look at that and kind of actually get a list of everything that we have and kind of present it to the full committee as a Revenue Committee recommendation.
So if this item on the agenda is just going to be about that piece of property here in the city, then I'll make my comments now about this other property. Okay? Because someone in attendance tonight suggested to me, and I'm sorry I didn't think of this myself, but I think we have more than one situation, but particularly in District 1 in Wolf Creek, there is a need there for a convenience site. And I think one way to perhaps generate some interest relative to that is to offer up a potential trade of some piece or pieces of this county-owned property to anyone in Wolf Creek that might be willing to trade us a piece of property to put a convenience site on.
It might be more appropriate to just sell the properties and use the proceeds to purchase a property.
And that's a logical thought, but at the same time, I think part of the issue that Brian has had in looking for a piece of property is finding somebody that wanted to sell us one. So the potential that we might offer them something else, just a thought.
Okay.
It was proposed that we put a request out for anyone that had property in the Wolf Creek area that might be willing to sell or lease to us a piece of property for a convenience site to come forward and let us know that. I would just like to add to that another possibility is to trade you something that we've got for something you got that we need. So.
So this is just for the city lot that is behind the city hall?
Yes. And
Then
we,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. We can just vote to do an appraisal on it if we want to. If you want to vote to do an appraisal and a sale, however y'all want to do it, it's up to y'all's will and discretion.
Mr. Mayor, when I went back and reread our minutes from that Revenue Committee back in March, we did make a motion to sell both the lot behind Smithville Police Department and Pine Creek Saddle Club.
That was the committee's recommendation.
That was the committee's recommendation. When we got to the full commission, it was said maybe we should wait on selling the piece of property behind the police department. So now we're coming back and reusing that motion out of that committee to put this back on the agenda.
Any more comments, discussion?
So the motion is for the appraisal and to sell.
We're not
There is
making.
no motion on
All
that.
right.
We're just going to approve the agenda.
I understand.
We're just clarifying what the agenda is.
All right.
Have there been recent conversations with the city about this property behind the jail?
Not from me.
Not recently.
Huh?
Not recently, no.
I just think it's a little premature to have this on here without having had some conversations with the city. It's property that I would be very uncomfortable just anybody purchasing away from the county. And I know that this came up my first term as commissioner, you know, selling it, but it is a prime piece of property right in downtown Smithville, and so it seems to me that it should have a little more thought and consideration before we just vote to sell it or put it on the market tonight. I'm just concerned.
As I understand.
It's not like it's something that has to happen right now.
As I understand it, this agenda item is only about whether or not we're going to seek an appraisal. This is not a decision to sell this piece of property.
The agenda says sale.
It's just a poor choice of words, okay?
It don't say a thing about,
You can vote on it however you would like to.
well, I make a motion, we remove that out of the agenda.
Okay.
I make a motion, we
Well,
strike
we done
that.
got a motion on the floor, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I believe, don't we? So I was thinking, y'all made a motion to approve the agenda unless y'all want to withdraw that.
Yeah, I got an email, from Miss Lisa Cripps, and I don't know if that's on here or not, about a resolution about Highway 70, naming it Frank Buck. I don't know if y'all got any of that.
No, that's not on the
Y'all didn't
agenda.
bring that up Thursday?
We brought it up Thursday, but it's not on the agenda. Yeah.
I will withdraw my second. I didn't originally make the motion.
And I withdraw my motion.
Okay. So they withdrew their motion to approve the agenda. Myron would like to make a motion to remove the sale of land property from the agenda. Would anybody like to second that?
I will second that.
All right. Is there any discussion?
If I'm not mistaken, when we talk about buying property to put the new jail up, that we would want to sell this property because we have no use for it. And the city is interested in it.
So, let's do a roll call vote on the agenda.
So what are we voting, to leave this on the agenda or not?
If you vote yes, it will be removing that item from the agenda. If you
So
vote,
can I make a comment before we?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. It ought to be pretty clear that this is a subject worth discussing. Just look at the comments that have been made about this. So I'm in favor of leaving this on the agenda.
We've already got a motion and a second. We've got to do something with it.
All right. Clerk, if you can call the roll, please. Thank you.
Andy Pack,
No.
Greg Matthews,
Yes.
Myron Odie,
Yes.
Beth Pafford,
Yes.
Larry Green,
No.
Tom Chandler,
No.
Matthias Anderson,
No.
Glenn Merriman,
No.
Brandon Donnell,
No.
Daniel Cripps, Jeff Barnes,
No.
Sabrina Farler,
Yes.
Tony Colwell.
Yes.
8 no. 5 yes.
All right. Motion fails.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by Larry to approve the agenda, seconded by Tom. Any discussion? Let's just vote by acclamation. If there's nobody opposing that.
I'd like to have a roll call,
All right.
Mr. Mayor.
We'll roll call the approval of the agenda.
Matthias Anderson,
Yes.
Glenn Merriman,
Yes.
Brandon Donnell,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps,
Yes.
Jeff Barnes,
Yes.
Sabrina Farler,
Yes.
Tony Colwell,
Yes.
Andy Pack,
Yes.
Greg Matthews,
No.
Myron Odie,
No.
Beth Pafford,
No.
Larry Green,
Yes.
Tom Chandler.
Yes.
Ten yes, 3 no.
All right, motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our prior meeting. This is August 25th, 25. Would anybody like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sabrina Farley,
I'll second.
seconded by Tom Chandler. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll vote by acclamation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Our financial reports, at our local option sales tax report. DeKalb County had $271,128.36 in collections. Smithville had $433,361.94. Alexandria, $32,326.51. Downtown, $3,452.04. Liberty, $16,714.40, with a net collection of $756,983.25. We are up. Last year, we had a net collection of $704,332.91. Anybody like to make a motion to approve the local option sales tax report? Motion by Daniel
I'll
Cripps.
second.
Second by Greg Matthews. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Do have some Board of Education public school security grant budget amendment. They're moving the total amount of $75,239.79. They're crediting maintenance and other contracted services in the amount of $50,139.79. Maintenance and administration equipment in three different amounts: $8,100, $7,000, and $5,000, and then other equipment in the amount of $5,000. That totals that total number that we spoke of the $75,239.79. Another budget amendment for the ISM grant, a total amount of $152,565.67. Crediting instructional supplies and materials in the amount of $3,000 and in the amount of $6,106.62. Regular instructional equipment in the amount of $68,146.12. Vocational instructional equipment, $6,345.68. Vocational instructional equipment in the amount of $6,208.42. And then another vocational instructional equipment of $62,668.83. Debiting lines are the supervisor director in the amount of $3,000, Social Security $185.24, state retirement $172.95, Medicare $44. Regular instructional equipment, they have on here four times, in the amount of $5,794.43, $68,146.12, and $3,407.93. Vocational instructional equipment in the amount of $2,937.75, $6,208.42, and $62,668.83. Budget Amendment 101, data processing youth service officer in the amount of $1,000. They're crediting to other supplies in the amount of $800 and $200 in travel. This money is moved within the youth service budget and is not new money.
Mr. Mayor, do we need to approve the budget amendments? Do we need to vote on the budget amendments?
We probably do the schools.
The
Yes,
schools.
I'm just gonna go through all of them like you all have requested, then we're
Okay.
gonna vote on them, but I can do it however you wanna do it.
You only got one more, so you
Yeah,
might
there's
as
only
well.
one more. Fund 171, health and welfare grants, debited in the amount of $3,153,825. That's going to public health and welfare building construction in the same amount. This is the grant money for the new health department project. So that's all state money that was funding our health department project.
I move that we accept all these.
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Tom Chandler to combine all these budget amendments from all these funds and approve them, and Myron Rhodey seconded that. Is there any discussion? All right. Hearing none, we'll vote by acclamation. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. First item in new business is the appointment of the chairman and pro temp of the county commission legislative body. Would anybody like to make a motion to appoint a chairman of the commission?
I make a motion that we make that go.
All right, Tom Chandler made a motion to appoint myself as the chairman.
Second.
Seconded by Jeff Barnes. Is there any discussion?
I'll make a motion that we appoint Jeff Barnes chairman.
Okay.
No.
No? Okay. He did a nice job.
He did do a good job.
Yes, he did.
I was watching by screen. He did really, really well. All right. Any more discussion? Are y'all opposed to voting by acclamation, or would you like a roll call?
Acclamation.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I move that we add Jeff Barnes again as the pro tem.
All right.
Second.
Motion by Tom to make Jeff the pro temp, and I've heard several seconds, but I got Larry in there, so I'm going to recognize Larry Green second. Andy, any of them, whoever Jimmy wants to write down, that'll be fine. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Appointments of our department heads. I would like to appoint Chief Donnie Green as fire chief, Director Trent Phillips as our EMS director, Director Charlie Parker as our EMA director, Hilton Conger as our county attorney, and Director Brian Reed as our solid waste and public works director.
I move that we accept all these.
I got a question before you do anything, Tom.
We'll do a motion, a second, and then discussion. Is that okay? A motion by Tom,
Second.
seconded by Larry. Okay, go ahead, Colwell.
Is Brian not leaving?
Far as I know, he's not leaving.
Hope not.
I hope not.
Well,
I hope he stays.
I want to
Yeah.
make sure for
So far, so good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Resolution in support of the Transportation Planning Grant. This is a grant application that would further our goal of the widening of State Route 83, also known as Allen's Ferry Road. Is there any motion to approve the resolution of support?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
All right, motion by Tom Chandler. Greg, would you like to second that?
I'll second it.
Got a second by Greg. Is there any discussion? All right. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Our next resolution is recognizing the 50th anniversary of the DeKalb County Fire Department. And this resolution states, whereas the DeKalb County Fire Department was established in 1975, whereas the initial 5 fire stations have grown to 12 fire stations across the county of DeKalb, whereas this year marks the 50th year of this department's inception, whereas this department is currently made up of 88 volunteer firefighters and 12 rehab members, Whereas these volunteers sacrifice time away from their families to help their community. Whereas the DeKalb County Fire Department selflessly saves life and property of others. Whereas they professionally serve our community with honor, integrity, and accountability. Whereas DCFD has been awarded the #1 volunteer fire department in the state of Tennessee for training hours. Whereas DCFD was awarded number 15 out of the volunteer and career departments in the state of Tennessee for the most training hours. Whereas DCFD has been named an elite fire department by the Tennessee Fire and Codes Enforcement Academy for 17 consecutive years. Whereas DCFD continues to strive above and beyond the expectations in providing professional fire services to the communities of DeKalb. Whereas a celebration of this 50th year anniversary will commence on Saturday, October 4th, 2025 at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time at the main station located at 782 King Ridge Road, Daletown, Tennessee. Whereas all of the firefighters, their families, the partner agencies, office holders, and the general public are formally invited to celebrate this incredible milestone. Therefore, let it be resolved that this resolution recognizing the 50th anniversary of DeKalb County Fire Department be announced in celebration of a remarkable milestone, and that the evident desires of these volunteers that are willing enough to lay down their lives on the line for the members of the community be recognized and adored.
Make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second.
Motion by Larry and seconded by Greg Matthews. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Tony Luna's Commissioner of the District 3 has submitted his resignation. So we have to formally recognize this resignation before we can move on to appointing someone else.
I'll make the
Anyone-
motion that we recognize and approve.
Second.
Motion by Greg Matthews to recognize Tony Luna's resignation and seconded by Colwell. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, what if we don't recognize it?
Yeah, accept it, recognize it, accept it. Yeah, you have to accept the resignation,
What if we don't accept it?
then the seat stays as is. Or is that right? Yep, I guess. I've never ran into that before.
I mean, are we able to drop it?
Yeah.
I'm being somewhat facetious, but this is the 4th commissioner that's resigned out of this commission, and I don't believe it's because they were doing a bad job. And I don't believe it's because they were corrupt. I believe that they have all tried to do what they thought was in the best interest of the county and the districts they represented. Despite what some of the people that show up in these meetings and claim that we're not listening to the public, they're just saying we're not listening to them. I think it's a shame that Tony has resigned.
Hey, knock it off.
I wish that that had not happened. So,
Anyhow, we've got a motion and a second to, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, to accept the resignation. Is there any more discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. All right. So our last item in new business is the sale of property.
I make a motion, we have that property appraised.
Second.
Motion by Larry to appraise the property that sits behind Smithfield Police Department. That's seconded by Brandon Donnell. Is there any discussion?
yes, I would like to comment.
Go ahead.
So I'd like to make my previous comments clear. I am not necessarily in favor of selling that piece of property, but I do believe it is in the best interest of this commission and the county to find out what that piece of property is worth. And as it was pointed out earlier, we have discussed the sale of that property as part of our decision surrounding the jail. And I don't see how we lose anything by getting appraisal for that piece of property. If anything, I would say that I would probably have some reluctance to sell the piece of property simply because there may be a need for it in the future. But at the same time, I'd like to know what it's worth. So I support getting an appraisal.
I don't have a bit of problem with the appraisal of it, but I have a problem with the wording said sale. That's the problem I have. I don't think we need to be selling. I agree with you. We need to know what it's worth. And it could be a piece of property we could use down the road. It is a very valuable piece of property.
In one of the comments that was made in public comments some months ago, we were accused of sitting on a lot of property that we own, and we do. We have since, the Revenue Committee has since gotten a new property list, which is grouped by address. So before, what we had was just a list of all the property. Now it's grouped by address, so now we can more easily group pieces of property together and maybe sell them as a whole. There is a lot of property, a lot of it is in Holiday Haven, a lot of it is in Lakeview. And most of it, if you've been out there, you know most of it's straight up and down. But people are building houses on lots that are straight up and down now. So once the committee commits again, then we'll come back with a more detailed resolution to get rid of some of this other property. There's no point in us sitting on it. If we can get something out of it, at least get it back on the tax rolls. As long as we sit on it, we're not making anything on it.
And I don't have a problem getting the value of the property. However, my state would be that I don't want to make a decision in downtown properties to sell something until the construction of the jail is started. I know we have land, I know it's going, but I do think things change sometimes. I'm not saying it's going to change, but as a person that knows that there's always other side, but some ground has to move on a construction site before I would want to vote yes. But getting the value of it, that doesn't bother me. When will we be? What's the time frame on the other properties? 'Cause, I mean, those are properties that we don't see of possibly selling and getting those.
Well, you're heading into a time of the year when real estate doesn't sell as well, November, December, and January. So our committee will probably meet sometime over the winter and come back with a detailed list of all these properties, and you can see exactly where they're at.
I'd like to see a detailed list of all of them to kind of see. I'm not on. I guess I need to attend that meeting and do better about that. So.
Yeah, and this piece of property behind the jail, behind the Smithville Police
Yeah, I
Department.
know where that's at.
I mean, it's not big enough for us to do anything with, other than the previous thought on it was putting a welcome center there, which I'm not sure we need a welcome center.
I'm not sure we know all the decisions about what's going to look downtown is going to look like when the jail does move off there. So that's why I'm hesitant on that side, is how we need to support our county on all aspects, from parking to the other things. As I say, that absolutely the city needs it, and that's something that they want. I don't see that. But I don't know that I would be comfortable selling, but absolutely appraising. I just wanted to make that clear before I vote.
Way back in March, the city did express an interest. If we decide to do something with it, they did express an interest in it.
So if there is some relationship between that piece of property and the jail, then why not also ask for an appraisal of what the piece of property where the jail is sitting would be worth once we have a new jail?
I don't think we're ready for that yet. That's too forward. That's too forward, I think. Mine is just, I want something to start. I know that's just me wanting to start a project before we open up something else in the downtown. That is Sabrina Farler's opinion of that. But finding a value of land doesn't matter. It is okay.
Well, I think we're going to kind of get that. If you get an appraisal of this piece of property, it'll give you some rough idea of what that piece of property the jail is sitting on might be worth. If you listen to the people that came forward at the last meeting that we had, in which we made the decisions about the jail, the people that came forward that had businesses in downtown Smithville seemed very enthusiastic about downtown Smithville and what might be done there. So all this property might be worth quite a bit of money.
All right, let's do a roll call vote.
To appraise.
Appraisal
For an
only,
appraisal.
correct?
Appraisal
I mean,
only.
We just making sure.
It's an appraisal.
All right.
So we got a motion and a second. We're gonna do a roll call. If you vote yes, that means you want to get an appraisal on the property behind Smithville Police Department. If you vote no, that means you do not want them to do an appraisal. Clerk, can you call the roll?
Tom Chandler,
Yes.
Larry Green,
Yes.
Beth Pafford,
Yes.
Myron Rhodey,
Yes.
Greg Matthews,
Yes.
Andy Pack,
Yes.
Matthias Anderson,
Yes.
Glenn Merriman,
Yes.
Brandon Donnell,
Yes.
Daniel Cripps, Jeff Barnes,
Yes.
Sabrina Farler,
Yes.
Tony Colwell,
Yes.
13 yes.
All right, motion passes. Any other business the commissioner would like to bring up?
Yes. The Highway 70 thing.
Okay, well, yeah, we talked about it in the workshop. We don't have the authority to name a state.
But we have to do a resolution.
Yeah, normally, the state representative or state senator will send us a request to do a resolution of support for something like that, but that's normally the formal process of how that is how that takes place. But, I mean,
Well, I'll make a motion that you get with Mike Hill and get it started. Because the way I read it, we have to have a resolution in place before he can take it to the state. That's the way I read what he
we don't have a
replied on.
resolution. Do you just want me to get with Michael Hill
Yes.
and talk? I mean, I don't
Yes.
think we need a motion for that. I can call Michael and
Yes.
ask him. Any other business?
So
Yeah, we got notaries. Yeah, after this.
I just want to make sure I understand this. So you are going to get with Mike about Mike starting
To give us a
starting this
formal
whole
request
process.
to draft the resolution of support. Yeah.
So I'll go back to once before, 3 years ago, and I brought this up about someone else. It was this commission, nothing to do with none of it. Those voted prior commissions that, county's not gonna stay in it. So now, again, we're gonna call and recommend or ask somebody to start the process. I mean, that's just a workaround of what they voted no on 2 commissions ago or 3 commissions ago. So I understand if they send it to us, but if we're calling them and suggesting, then we're defeating the whole purpose.
I think what we're gonna do with this situation is I'm gonna go to Michael Hill and ask if that's what he wanted us to do or not. And then if he requests us to do that, he can send us a formal request for us to draft a resolution. And then I'll bring that resolution, if that's what he wants us to do, I'll bring that resolution to you in October, and then this body can vote yay or nay on if they support that happening or not.
Well, I don't think nobody's against it. I'm just pointing out the flaw in the logic of we're doing exactly what we said we ain't gonna do. We're just doing it a different way.
Yeah, the state is the only authority that can name a state or bridge or highway or any of that, so. But we did make a, kind of a general consensus that we would not name county roads or anything, any kind of bridges or anything after anybody in particular.
It ain't a county road, it's
Well-
a state road.
Once again, then Mike Hill shouldn't need our opinion or input on none of it. I mean, that's my point is, it seems to be now who you are is what gets.
That's
mean,
what I didn't understand when he said we had to do a resolution on the email.
Is there any
It's a
other
state
business?
road.
All right. Hearing no other business, we do have some notaries. It's Jeanette Anderson, Jamie Dawson, Perry Figgins, Deanna McChucken, Casey Midget, and Desiree.
Make a motion to accept them all.
I second.
Motion by Caldwell to accept, and Matthews, second that. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Jeff to adjourn, seconded by Myron. Any discussion?